This is the Necromancer tank build by yours truly. Let me get straight into it. Don't waste no time here. For our first skill, we are running Pierce Armor, source of Minor Breach and Major Breach. For our second ability, we have Revealing Flare, which if you watch my Sorcerer tank build, which is my first build of my tank that I put out there, you would have seen that it synergizes really well with Reviving Barrier, being that the Magicka aid gives you a lot of mag recovery from the support skill line. Once you have both of these slotted on the same bar, it helps out a lot. For a third one, we have Necrotic Potency. It reduces your damage taken by 3%. Really, really nice. It also gives you some alt regen and healing. But the healing doesn't necessarily come straight from this. We're going to get into that. For our fourth one, we have Beckoning Armor, which is our major and minor resolve. Everyone needs this skill. No matter what, you need those two buffs. And then also it pulls in ranged attackers, which is really nice. You don't have to pull all the time, so that's a less costly Magicka ability, which is also on our back bar that I'll get to. Our heal is Hungry Scythe. It's a pretty good heal. Really, really good. You have a big group, you'll heal instantly. On a boss, you'll still heal instantly, and it puts a nice heal over time on you. And then we have Reviving Barrier for our source of our ultimate. And then on the back bar, we're running Unnerving Boneyard. This is a flex spot. You can put whatever here. I am running Unnerving because it's better for group utility. It also puts minor vulnerability, which you don't really need because some groups offer it alone through the DPS, but it's just nice to have for the synergy. The only bad thing is that it does consume a corpse, but it helps do more damage, which you're not really focusing on putting more damage out. It just helps the group out a little bit, I guess. But if you would want something else, you could put Agony Totem or Empowering Grasp. Those are two other good skills. Agony Totem just gives you minor protection, which makes you a little bit more tanky. And it's while you're standing inside of it, so once you swap to your front bar, you get minor protection on top of your major protection. So it's a little nice. And also gives enemies major cowardice. And then it also, in ad pulls, it'll fear them, so it'll just stun them. They won't be able to move, which helps out because you don't want many enemies to move. You want your damages to have their AoEs on the floor, also taking damage at the same time. So it also puts a nice little synergy out there. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, another synergy, which is also really nice. And then Empowering Grasp gives a major maim. It just spawns a lot of... Here, I'll show you. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, 3. So, it's really nice. Gives major maim and also immobilizes enemies. And it also helps out your heavy attack builds, which I know people aren't really running as much anymore, but I mean, if you have one, it helps. So it really depends. It's a flex spot. You just put whatever you want here. But for now, I'm just gonna run Unnerving Boneyard. For a second skill, I'm running Spirit Guardian. Don't use it in zone. That's why it's my triangle, because I never use triangle. So you will get a bounty, but everybody knows about the Necromancer by now. It heals you or the lowest healing ally, which is the one I don't really like, but it also takes 10% of the damage you take and is transferred to the spirit instead. And your spirit won't die early. It'll stay for 16 seconds. You just gotta reapply it. So that helps out. And it also creates a corpse, which helps out our Mortal Coil, which is our really good heal over time for us and allies. And it also gives you some synergies back. And while slotted, your healing done is increased by 3%. So this is where it gets a little iffy, depending on if your healer is good or not with you. If the healer is good, you can keep it on the back bar because you don't need that much healing. Your healer should be good enough to heal you through most of your stuff. But if you're, let's say, for instance, like kiting, and you need your heals ASAP, you can just swap it from the front bar with Necrotic Potency and just put this on over here. And then if you really, really, really want to be selfish and you really suck at tanking, go ahead and throw this on, swap this up here, and then put right here for your Necrotic Potency. And then you have minor protection active. Now you have your major protection and your healing is increased. But it really doesn't matter. It's really whatever you would want, but they all consist of the same skills. It's just different placement based on what you're doing. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back though. Shoot. Alright, what am I doing? There we go. Back to normal. And then we have our Blockator Frost for our Crusher enchant, and also chills enemies, reduces their speed, you know, really, really cool. And then we have our pull, which is Leashing Soul. Really nice pull. I just have whatever on it. The only thing I was really worried about is the pull. You can put whatever else you want on it. None of my business, don't really care. Then we have Glacial Colossus, which gives our major vulnerability. Really nice. And then that also pairs with our Class Mastery. Veil's Forfeit. It extends your major vulnerability you apply by 50%, which can have you hitting a 100% uptime of major vulnerability, which is really nice. Takes away Turning Tide and also makes a tank, a Necro tank, a viable option for being a main tank. And then while you're in combat, directly healing a target below 66% health relinquishes them from death's clutches and allows you to use a corpse consuming ability against them within 10 seconds up to once every second. Really nice. And then for a second one, we have a Pound of Flesh. When you take damage, you have a 10% chance to heal 4,120 health and restore 5% of your missing stamina up to once per second. The stance increases by 1% for every missing health percent you have in the max. And the healing is based off of your max health. Really nice. Gives you even more healing, which is something I kind of suck with on a Necro tank. This isn't really an easy tank for me just because of my playstyle, but I mean, if I'm as bad as I am on a Necro tank and someone else picks this up and they're really good on Necromancers and they're good with that corpse consumption mechanic with Necromancers, this would be the perfect tank for you. For food, Bewitched Sugar Skulls. Um, Cheap, easy to craft, you know, yada yada, whatever. For a blue tree, I'm running not Bulwark, but I'm running Ironclad. And during Resolve, if you need extra spell resistance, physical and spell, you can put on Bulwark, or you can use Duelist Rebuff. They're unassailable. Um, Very good options for a red tree. We got Celerity, Bracing Anchor, Wardmaster, and Rejuvenation. If you need to swap out your Rejuvenation for some Fortified, go for it. That's why I didn't save. Makes sense. But yeah, that's pretty much the tank build. I recommend running Sax Heal, which is always really good for Necro tanks. I also run Sax Heal for my Sorcerer tank, but that depends on if you're, you know, what you're doing, what the other tank is wearing. But the reason I'm running it is because it gives you another buff, which is Major Force, which increases your group's damage done by 20%. So that paired with 100% uptime on Major Vulnerability, which makes them take 10% more damage. Um, it equals out really good. I'm also running Tremor for the Armor Strip, and then Lucent. Yeah, that's pretty much the Necro tank. Thank you. Peace.